I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago, as if this day was written into my destiny. Today, I'll stand in court as a lawyer, to prove a killer innocent. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Now listen up. You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you. Ever. Maya. Phoenix. Phoenix. Oh, hi, Mia. How you doing? Maya. How's Maya? I don't know. You don't know. She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here. Not anywhere. It's that cursed on guard again. Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Gumshoe. I'm really sorry. Where are you? Hey, let me join the investigation team and we're chasing... They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe. Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're going to do everything we can to find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? If you go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Oh, you're the best. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. Oh, we're getting into this corny, sappy shit now. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. I didn't know we were in some dumb shonen. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. Let's get it done, man. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Again. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being that what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder? That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. On God, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she is guilty after all. I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Corrido was killed by a professional assassin, and the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is mad on God. What a surprising turn of events! I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya is safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Crazy as they always do. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Oh, I forgot your voice already. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay, I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, that is, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, yeah. Mr. Powers, please. You don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry. Well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Miss Dawnguard's room. Okay, sure. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first, I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Guests meaning us, I presume. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Dawnguard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy. Ordinary bellboy. What are you implying? He wasn't ordinary at all. He had a toupee. Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? Why would he lay a trap out for us? He knows what we're doing. Okay. Watched the two of them for a while, but then gave up and went back. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? Well, that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. At first? What do you mean by that? I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated... you know, I did feel something weird. I think this literally just fucking happened. Why would you do this? Why would you have a flashback to this? It makes no sense, game. Stop doing this. God, it's only a problem in Japanese games. Oh yeah, that's it. You really know your job.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he?
Perhaps we should let the witness tell us.
Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony.
You mean about the bellboy, right? Matt gave the bellboy a tip. What a revised statement. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was. Well, that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket, and that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked.
I'm afraid I don't follow at all.
Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. Wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. The bellboy's face or on guard's tip? Just his tip. That's all. Yeah. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips. Very generous tips. Wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much. Would you please clarify for the court about how much would you say the defendant gave the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess.
And why is that?
Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat tip. A roll of cash.
Well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it?
A very fat roll of cash that can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Raise an objection. Oh, it doesn't matter. There's nothing I can really object to here. I mean, who can argue that a fat roll of money isn't really odd?
So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it?
Payment, Your Honor.
Payment?
For the nice, large tip. Oh.
Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Carita. Then the bellboy the witness saw.
Yes, he was the assassin.
Hold your horses now. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't have any proof of this, do you?
Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley de Killer left at the scene of the crime.
Shelley de Killer?
He's the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley de Killer.
Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers?
No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I just figured something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night.
What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir, right away. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom, and that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carita's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much, that is all we need for now. But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. de Killer, then we shall see.
So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious.
That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter. Mia, stop slapping my dick. I'm just trying to, lighten the mood. Jesus. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing... Okay. Cool, thank you, Real Tech. Perfect. Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next? Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you?
I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers.
But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide? Or what, try to pull a fast one? Oh yeah, try to pull a fast one. That is what we should do. There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous testimony be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth, are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? Well, probably.
I see, very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please.
Oh, I just got it. Wright doesn't really think the bellboy is Shelley the Killer. I just figured it out. I'm smart. I'm a genius, I swear. I really wasn't actually paying any attention thanks to Real Tech popping up and saying, "Oh hey, your shit's unplugged. Oh wait, no it's not." Alright. We got empty-handed. That's a guitar case. Wine glass. Mr. Powers? Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... Those are war wounds, Mr. Powers. So, baseball has Okay. Yep, that's a good analogy there, Phoenix. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Yeah, that's what he means. Fucking retard. Well, there's also, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here.
This is the crime scene.
There's a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Kurita's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. It's actually red wine. And now if you would look at what is on the top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Kurita's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left.
But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room.
No, you retard. But can you prove that Mr. Kurita was already dead at that time?
Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes?
I blame you for leading me down this route.
I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say empty-hand-ed. Did you try to make a joke?
I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right?
Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier?
Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy, does this must make the bellboy look really suspicious.
Alright, gotta focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves.
Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather? Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather?
But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant, and then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony.
The rest?
Oh yes, please tell us more.
Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left, without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then came back to my seat.
So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room?
Yeah, I kinda saw it all. Yeah, I kinda saw that by accident. Some accident? I'd say he saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven.
I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal.
I don't think you're the judge on what should be normal or not, Judge.
Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor. What do you give to the person inside the room, my man? I said hold it. Okay. That's better. Yeah. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Ask about the person inside, ask about this something. Don't ask anything. Perfect. Obviously the person inside. So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm.
Only an arm?
Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well,
it was Mr. On-Guard's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. On-Guard himself, I'd say.
And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing... No, we gotta do this. We gotta ask the second question. Yeah, no, we already did this. We did this already, Phoenix. Please, don't do this again. Okay, ask about the something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I?
Well, this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers?
I think it was something kinda small. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that.
Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important?
Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client.
Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off.
Well, let's see. I think it was... Oh!
If you remember, please add it to your testimony.
Yes, sir. Let's see. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. Do we have anything in evidence? Oh, hey, figurine. What was the point of that pregnant pause?
Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up.
It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this.
Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. That's the something. Well, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt Ungod's mansion.
At the defendant's house. What does this mean?
It's simple, Your Honor. Shelly DeKiller assassinated Juan Carita in his room, and then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime.
Then the bear being found in Mr. Ungod's mansion would mean...
It goes without saying, Your Honor, Mr. Matt Ungod is DeKiller's client. Well, your suspicions were correct, Mr. Phoenix, right? Do you feel smart now?
I said order. Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you.
Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. He just said he did.
I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial.
I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please.
Yes, Mr. Wright.
There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull?
Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further?
Powers' testimony, the person who received the bear itself. The bear itself is suspicious as hell. Is it a bomb? Is it a bear bomb? I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable.
The bear, Mr. Wright?
This was found in Mr. Ungard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home.
Oh.
I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to his mansion. Why? Why?
That's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There's no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home.
Disaster averted. Edgeworth, why? Why must you hurt me so? It's worse than the whip, actually. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Aunt God's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was DeKiller. DeKiller and On God were working together, so to speak, and DeKiller was hiding at On God's mansion as its butler.
What a bold move!
The bear figurine was brought back to On God mansion by DeKiller himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, On God had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during the investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I have to try. I have to find something else.
What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to...
I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Powers' testimony.
What? There's still another one? I think you're just grasping at straws again, Phoenix. We really need to just end this trial. I'm hungry.
There is indeed, Your Honor, and it's quite a questionable point. What are you trying to pull?
Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright, what would you question further?
The person who received the bear. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. This literally just happened again. Stop it. It's game, I swear, stop it. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure. Why would you do that? Are you a bear now?
What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why.
Oh yeah, sorry, actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What?
Really?
I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm, it was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. You've got to be kidding.
Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers?
Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai.
Order, order. It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again.
How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Mad on God is the Nickel Samurai. Oh, you're forgetting one thing. One very important thing that we'll get to later.
Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt on guard. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now hand down my verdict.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth.
Any last objections, Mr. Wright?
Well, do I? What should I do? Raise an objection. There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the client of the assassin. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at On Guard Mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is, it's possible a different person is D. Killer's real client.
The real client?
Yes.
Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the real client of D. Killer, and therefore the real murderer?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm real sorry, Adrian, but I gotta do it.
Adrian Andrews?
Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt on Guard for the crime by wearing a spare Nickel Samurai costume. Then the Nickel Samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews.
But what about Mr. On Guard?
If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period.
That's right. Then, finding this figurine in Mr. Matt on Guard's mansion,
it was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this?
I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic, besides which there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell On Guard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Oh, you'll have plenty of games where the world will turn against you.
Order, all disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear?
He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear on guard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely, and I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews.
And who would that be?
It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. Obviously. Why did you even have to ask, Judge? Are you that thick?
Well, then the court will take a short 10-minute recess, and the prosecution will prepare its witness in that time.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll give Head just the tip. Oh, hey, on guard, how you doing?
Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage.
Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian. I swear this demon will pay.
Mr. Nick.
Pearls? Where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. Really strong power.
No, Mr. Nick, your phone is...
It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto. That's good, pal. What about you? Anything else? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are? Well, we still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, we gotta keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But if I just run out of luck this time, is all our hope for naught? A tent. A tent.
I can see a circus tent.
Oh, hey, Mia. I thought you were just some random bloke.
Mia, your voice changed again.
It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away? She's locked in the dusty little room right now, but I can see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Oh, it's the Very Big Circus. Gumshoe, is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal, the Very Big Circus. Maya's somewhere within 300 feet radius of the main tent. What? Oh, okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map about 300 feet radius from the main tent. Hurry. And? I could see a mailbox under the window. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay. What else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer.
Court will now reconvene.
The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to the client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real criminal. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews?
Of course I have. You have seen it before?
That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? Yes, unlock all the bear's secrets. Please. Alright. Why? Why does she... Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. I swear this series and its weird contraptions. First a thinker that's actually a clock, and now this.
So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it?
Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Conceiving. Oh, yes, looks can be very conceiving, Miss Andrews.
Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
It looks like there really was something to that bear after all. Who would have thunk it? Alright, so... just gotta press her on everything because I don't really think she gave us a whole lot to go on. A puzzle?
That's right. But it looks like an ordinary figurine.
True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? So you can take it apart. And how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in.
Oh yes, I see.
After that, the arms and legs are free to move and it can be removed.
Oh, this is most interesting.
A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. He's always 5. Look at him.
Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on.
I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? Oh good, we're doing this again. Thank you, Realtek. Hold on. How do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Ah. It was a souvenir from when I was, from when a friend and I went to Switzerland.
Then this was a present from you?
That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, please let's continue with the testimony. Because of its complexity, yeah. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are that many people with this same bear in this country.
But this looks like it can be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get what was inside.
Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone, and as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? And of course that means Mr. On Guard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have to come to realize that there's one very important fact that we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that can come next, and that is this.
What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we're going to find out next, witness. Yes? You're the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. Oh, Edgeworth, you sly dog. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's a suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impex. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impex had very beautiful handwriting, and she was just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been because it had already been taken by D. Killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate that the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of this note aloud. Very well. Why the judge? Why not me? Why can't I do it? The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the dead silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impex left to us a record of all that had happened to her, about being used and then thrown away by On Guard, about being engaged to Corrida and On Guard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. Tragic. And that's all Miss Impex had to say. There's one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering On Guard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word! Madame God values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. It's On Guard's fault, and this time he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. How terrible. What a selfish person. I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. There's no margin for doubt here. Mr. D. Killer's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note, and the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear, with the note inside, was found at the defendant's house. It seems we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay, there are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand, Phoenix. Hurry. Suicide note of the figurine. Which one of these should I pursue?
It doesn't really matter. You can do either one, I'm pretty sure. We'll just do a suicide note. Please wait, Your Honor. Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it? It's like he doesn't even care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that Matt on Guard killed in order to obtain this note.
Yes, that's correct.
But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Carita until the night of the murder. If that is the case, I say that Matt on Guard could not have known what was written on this note.
Oh, I didn't think of it that way.
Exactly, but I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said.
Order. You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order.
Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon himself.
I would like to direct the court's attention to this.
What is that?
It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying.
Spying?
What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt on Guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses.
And?
The victim, Juan Carita, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt on Guard.
Order, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities.
Well, sort of.
Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright.
I see you're confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed of his eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera.
Matt on Guard's fingerprints were on there?
Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? Well, I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. On Guard learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy? Shush, stop, don't look at him. The way he's sweating is just so, nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief. Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What am I going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate. I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? You know I don't do well with riddles. You're reminding me... I can't really say reminding me. I'm having a premonition of a British man in a top hat with dead black eyes.
Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you?
What is this piece of evidence that Mia is talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? Well, of course, we gotta present evidence. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever had, Mr. Wright. Your Honor, the defense has no intentions of letting this go so easily.
You're beginning to sound desperate.
That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something. You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Honestly, I don't have a clue. Oh, we never even read it, did we? Would it be this? Apparently it is.
That is Miss Impact's suicide note, right?
Who knows? I mean, sure, the suicide note was found inside this bear, but this bear was in my possession until a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on the suicide note has yet to be analyzed. So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Ms. Impax or not, has yet to be even remotely confirmed.
Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting...
Mr. Wright, are you saying the suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. On Guard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you! Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There's no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? What do you mean? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figure. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt on Guard. I did no such thing. Right, if you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, you're the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. Oh snap! We need our own whip.
That's enough! Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note?
It is as the defense has stated, the handwriting has yet to be analyzed.
If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible.
That's impossible. This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Miles will physically be able to make it another day.
I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate.
Handwriting analysis, my butt, that's just the lawyer trying to buy more time. On Guard is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line.
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Repeated guilties. Oh shit, there goes a bottle.
What is that sound?
It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe. What is with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to de-kill her? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal, I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you, I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal, but the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little bit more time. But don't tell me we don't. We don't have any more. Well, you hear that, Gumshoe? I really don't think we have any more time left. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... No. What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. Throw the phone. Throw the phone. Do it. I can't do that. Mr. Wright.
Would you please get a hold of yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after.
Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch. Yes. Just throw it across the courtroom.
Oh, man.
Mr. Edgeworth, please, you gotta buy us some more time. Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying...
Mr. Wright, this is a court of law.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but...
I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow.
This time I really can't do anything.
Court is now adjourned for the day.
No, Edgeworth, you're a good guy. Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth?
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time.
For what purpose?
We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time.
But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes?
I believe we can, Your Honor.
But wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for the day and then reconvene tomorrow?
30 minutes, please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honor.
Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now make a 30-minute recess, but be advised that I will not allow another recess today.
I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us.
The court will now take its final recess of the day.
Golly, we are pulling everything out of our asses, aren't we? Right. Well, what's going on with my situation? D-Killer, it looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Ugh. Report. Is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time. Just spit it out. Right. It looks like we just missed them, sir. The D-Killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things. Can we use any of them as evidence? Oh, I thought you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left with me right now and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to... I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this. With my hunk of junk car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Alright, just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every... Why are we doing this? Why are we here? Just to suffer? Just to listen to these references? Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. Oh, Jesus, what the fuck? Guys. Gumshoe, did you crash? You were here way earlier than expected. Did you crash into the courthouse? Oh, he crashed. Hi, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me. No one can stop. Oh well, Gumshoe's dead. Rip. What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so there's no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No, can't let that happen. Well, if there's a way we can find out where he is, then we can stand a chance. Why, oh why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? There is a way. There is no way. There is a way. That's right, there is a way. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. Franny! Why are you bringing up Francisca at a time like this? Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. Francisca, will she even want to help us? Edgeworth, what is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right? It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict. Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. They probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do.